Hi families, welcome back to my beautiful channel. This is your girl Doxis once again. Today is another episode of product making, that is soap actually. So today we are going to be making soap from red clay, and as how I did it, you would see it in the video as we are moving on forward. And we are in the month of love, so I just decided to design something little in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to start by making the soap that I'm going to use as a design in the middle of my soap. Okay, and then I will cut them into pieces into the heart shape that I want. Okay, so I added my caustic soda to my oil, and then I added my perfume, my fragrance, and then I added titanium dioxide, which is TD, to it. I mixed them together and I pour it into my soap mold, and then I cut it as to the shape that I want. So I wanted it to dry faster, so I removed it from the mold and then I placed it on the floor for it to dry faster for me, so that I can cut them as to the shape that I want, because time was running out, and if I spend too much time on this, I'm gonna cut my soap in the evening. So I decided to spread it, and then within the next 20 minutes it was dry. Not too dry, because if you leave it very dry, you cannot cut it as you cannot cut it to the perfect shape that you want. So it took like 20 minutes, and then I decided to start cutting them. Yeah. So afterwards, I decided to work on my clay. So I got my clay, I mixed with water, a lot of water actually, so that I could strain it properly, because if it becomes too thick, it's going to be very difficult to strain it. So I made it watery, very light. So I was able to strain it, and then I got the sun out of the clay for the first part, and then I repeated it again. I decided to strain it again for the second time, but this time around I used some material, so to actually get the best out of the clay. Okay, and then I did so and left it around for like I think it took like 30 to an hour for it to for the water to separate from the clay. And then I pour out the water on top out of it, and then it was left with the clay on the bottom part. Right, so I'm gonna pour the water. Here is the clay. I got the water on top out of it, and then I added my water, which I'm gonna use for my lye. I added the water first, and then later I added the caustic soda, okay, the sodium hydroxide to it. Now this is gonna help kill any bacterials and stuff in there. Okay, so that's the reason why I did it this way. So I made it cool down a bit to room temperature, both my oils and then the lye solution, which I've mixed the clay in. I made them cool down a bit, but it wasn't at room temperature. It wasn't at room temperature, so it caused my soup to taste very fast, and it was so difficult for me to work with. I even forgot. I forgot to add my fragrance, because I was so much in a hurry that I wanted to get the soup out of the bowl. So I even forgot to add my fragrance. Now what I'm adding here is my sugar solution. Okay, you can check the description box for all the measurement. And what I'm adding here to is my cocamidopropyl betaine. For my laundry soap, usually I use SLS or SLES, and for these soaps which which is going to be used for bathing, I usually add Cocamidopropyl propelbutene because mostly people find the XLS to be irritating to the skin. And I also superfat this soap. I superfat it to 5%. Okay, so what I'm adding here too is my calcium carbonate, which I have mixed with water. Usually for my laundry soap, I don't mix my calcium with water. I just add them at last part. The very, very last thing that I'm gonna add in my laundry soap is my calcium, which I don't mix with water. Yeah, so when I mix the calcium at this point, you could see that the soap has thickened up. It has thickened up very thick, very, very thick, and it was difficult to even get it into the mold. I decided to tap it, but it did not work. It did not work. So then I have to think of another way, another alternative to get the soap filled to all the parts in the mold. Because if I leave it like that by tapping it, there's going to be holes inside the middle, the bottom part and stuff. So I decided to do it this way. At this point, I'm going to put in my design in the middle part, and then the rest will continue. You can see the rest, I cannot even get them out. It was very, very, very thick. And at this point, I didn't know what to do. All that I was thinking of was a way to fill the soap in there, to push it down to the bottom. So I decided to get everything into it. I scooped all the remaining ones into the mold, and then I covered the soap up with a plastic wrap, and then I decided to push it down. I decided to push the soap down as hard as I could, and that was the only way that I saved my soap. And it came out nice. It came out nice. At the end, I was impressed. During my initial during the beginning, the beginning of me making soap, I wouldn't have known how to save the soap actually. So this is what I did. I covered it with a plastic wrap. I push it down, push it down, push it down, scoop it, fill where I feel like that it's not leveled. I filled it to where I feel like it's not leveled, and then I push it down again. As funny as I was trying to create some texture on top, but it wasn't working out. So I just decided to leave it that. I was even happy that I was able to fill it to fill everything into the mold again. Right, so afterwards I covered it with the same plastic wrap and then I covered it with a wooden mold because I wanted to trap the heat inside. This wooden mold, this wooden cutter that you're seeing is available if you are in Ghana. It's a mini soap cutter that comes with 2 wooden mold, which I use in making this soap. It's available if you want it. You can call my line. So I decided to cup the soap in less than 12 hours because it was late. It was around 10 or 11 p.m. and if I leave the soap till the next morning, I cannot cut it. It's going to harden up and it's going to be very difficult for me to cut it. So I decided to spend the time to cut it before sleeping, you know. Yeah, so that's how it came out at the end. So you could see that the soap is still soft, but it's still good to go anyway. So it was making it a bit difficult to cut through, because when I push it, it's kind of not working out. Okay, so here is it. I think I was able to save the soap at the end, and I was happy because how I was expecting it to come out, I was thinking I wanted it to be more beautiful than this, but it's still okay as long as I didn't lose the soap. It's still fine. So I'm just cutting the edges off, and it's nice. Some nice perfect bars out there. Okay guys, so thank you very much for watching this video. You can find all the measurements in the description box. God bless you all, and I love you. Take care of yourself, and bye bye.